So I say all that to say this. Answer this question to me in the comment section. I'm about to go on a rant and tangent here, so here's your disclaimer, and I got cold hard facts and evidence to back up everything I say. Sometimes in this life, you gotta do things you don't want to do, and I'm gonna tell you up front, at the very beginning of this video, on this Sunday where my plans and intentions were to relax and enjoy March Madness, addressing this situation was the last thing I wanted to do. I've came to the conclusion I can never just have a chill day, there's always some BS going on. And normally, I wouldn't even address this situation because I'm not insecure, I know who I am, I don't have to prove anything to anybody. I've let so many false narratives about me just run along, whether that be on YouTube or my real everyday life, because I don't want to give it any energy. I don't feel the need to explain myself to anybody. If you misunderstand it or you're running along with a false story, that's on you. And I've had so many people say, Matt, if these people are lying or they get the story wrong, why are you continuing to let them run along with it? My reason for that is fairly simple. Like I said, I don't need to explain anything to anybody. And number two, have you ever heard this quote, a wise man once said nothing at all? That's why. But however, as you can tell, I'm not letting this run along, and I'm going to explain it to all of you. And I know all of you right now, you're sitting here with two questions. Number one, okay, Matt, if you don't feel the need to validate or explain yourself, why are you doing it here? And question number two is, what in the crap are you talking about? Because I know there's going to be a vast majority of you that have no idea what I'm referring to. To answer question number one, I'm only explaining myself in this situation because a lot of people are so misinformed about it. It's not even about myself. I'm not trying to clean my name or whatnot because I don't care. If you want to hate me and criticize me, I honestly don't care. I'll talk about that a little later, so stay tuned. To answer question number two, what in the crap I'm talking about, I'm referring to yesterday's video I posted about Ja Morant where the comments are disabled. Yes, as you can see right here, the comments are turned off. I gotta give you some context to the situation though, because all these people with a lack of context, they don't know what they're talking about. If you haven't seen that video, feel free to check it out. And if you don't want to check it out, to make a long story short, we just looked at how apparently Ja Morant, or not apparently, did happen, his old Instagram was exposed. So what did I do for that entire 12-minute video? We just went to his Instagram and I reacted to it. In the video, I was literally just looking at his Instagram pictures, reading some of the comments, and that was it. In that said video, go watch it for some more context if you want. I didn't even criticize Ja Morant. It was just, I don't even know what I would label it. It was just a normal and average video. I've criticized Ja Morant in the past. I've called him a cornball. But in that video, I even had his back. I was like, oh yeah, I had an old Instagram. Everybody, we've been there. If you had Instagram in 2013 and 14 and you was a kid, we was all posting stupid selfies and whatnot. You know how it goes. We all did that crap. So I don't know where a lot of people said I was criticizing him in that video. But here's why people are mad. Because the comments were turned off. I'm about to go on a rant and tangent here. So here's your disclaimer. And I got cold hard facts and evidence to back up everything I say. In my life, I've been through a lot. And I don't want to use that as some sob story and want you to feel sorry for me. Because I don't even feel sorry for myself. Because I believe there's a lot of people who've had it way worse than me. Everybody has a sad story. In this life, it is up to you to go, okay, am I going to use all these sad circumstances and obstacles that happen to me and use it as fuel and motivation, become the best version of myself that I can? Or am I going to use it as a sob story and live a miserable life and tell everybody how, oh, this happened to me, that's why I'm not successful? You can either be a victim of your circumstance or you can be a champion. Which one do you want to be? In my life, I've chose every obstacle that I've been through to use it as fuel and motivation to become the best version of myself that I can. And I hope and pray that all of you watching this video, you're either A, currently do that, or if you go through something terrible, you do it in the future. This life is very simple. You either win or you either lose. No in-betweens. What have I told you guys since day one? Winners win, losers lose. If you want to cry because your girl left you or just something terrible happened in your life, a family member passes away and you want to use it as a sob story for the next 2 or 3 years, that's cool because somebody like me is going to come along and I'm going to crush you every single day because I'm working 24/7. I say that to say this. Maybe one day I will get to share my story with y'all, but that's a different video for a different day. After middle school was over, heading into high school, I was fortunate enough for all my hard work over the years to pay off, and I was starting as a freshman on the varsity basketball team. That's a pretty big deal, right? I'm not saying it to brag or whatnot because there's nothing to brag about starting. You still got to go out there and put numbers. And to be honest, I wasn't even that good as a freshman. I was okay, but you get the point. Freshman starting on the varsity basketball team, all eyes have always been on me. Freshman year was all right. There wasn't too much craziness going on. There was just a lot of heavy expectations. Fast forward in time to my 10th grade year, this is when I took my game to a different level and I wound up averaging around 12, I think it was 12, 13 points a game. Not too bad. I would say I was okay, still not really that good. I was a role player. But heading into my junior season, this was now my year to break out. This is when you start picking up a ton of offers. If you've ever been recruited, you know how that cycle goes. I was really hitting my strides, workouts during the summer, 10th grade summer. It was amazing. AAU was going awesome. I was averaging like 20 a game in AAU. And also, this was going to be my third year on varsity, and this is supposed to be the make or break year. It's like, okay, we're going to see if this guy's a real deal or he's just a fluke. You can't make this stuff up. In that 10th grade summer, heading into 11th grade, I put in so much work, sweat, blood, and tears, and it was all about to pay off. The first game of my junior season, we're playing one of the top teams in the state, and to make a long story short, I caught fire, played one of the best games of my life. Heading into the fourth quarter, I had 30 points. Well, it was actually 28. I rounded it up, but you get the point. I had 28 points heading into the fourth quarter. I'm playing out of my mind. I had like 6 threes. And I know what you're probably sitting there wondering, Matt, why do you remember all these details? And you'll see why in about 30 seconds. All throughout that game, they brought their student section to our home court, and every single time I caught the ball, they was going, boo! And every time I pass it, they'd be quiet. It was like crickets. All throughout the game, the student section and all the fans are cussing at me, saying stuff I cannot repeat here on YouTube. It was just bad. And when I say bad, I mean bad as in the language they were using. I was loving it. I was the type of guy to clap back, and I was going back and forth with them. It was awesome. I embraced being the villain. I liked it. Let's go. Well, guess what happens next? The first play of the fourth quarter on a fast break, I go up to block a guy's shot, and I tear my ACL, and I'm sitting on the ground in so much pain right below their student section. I can see it in my head so vividly. I wish I had a picture to show you guys. Just imagine I'm sitting on the ground and their entire student section getting up and throwing popcorn and Skittles at me and booing me and laughing. Now, granted, do I think those guys in the student section and the opposing team's fans knew I was in pain, knew I tore my ACL? Probably not. They just thought it was some minor ankle sprain. It is what it is. So it's nothing personal against those guys whatsoever. That's just a moment in my life I'll never forget. People booing me, cussing at me, throwing popcorn and Skittles on me. Meanwhile, I tore my ACL on the ground. And to make things even worse, I was having the game of my life. I had 30 points heading into the fourth quarter. And to top that off, it was the first game of the season. All that work I put in the offseason, it was all for nothing. Every single college I talked to up to that point, they cut me off. And I get it. It's a business. You're not going to give a kid a scholarship after he tears his ACL, MCL, patella tendon, and everything else I tore. And by the way, to give you some more context, yeah, it wasn't just an ACL tear. It was much more than that. I share that story with you to lead me into my next point perfectly. All the hate, all the criticism I received when I played basketball, all the hate and criticism I got during that one game, that one moment in my life, that prepared me for, I guess you could say, quote unquote hate comments and criticism on social media. I've been criticized my entire life. Even after that moment, I came back my senior year, 40% healthy, only 5 months after ACL surgery. People are still booing me, still criticizing me, still sending me messages before the game and after the game saying more hateful stuff. That continued to go on. So I say all that to say this. Answer this question to me in the comment section. Do you really think if I went through all of that, I am scared of what some random person on the internet on YouTube is going to say about me in my own comment section? Answer that question. I could give 2 flying fudge sickles if you write a hate comment about me or criticize me. And a lot of people just say that to say that, but I mean it. So for all the people that are trying to question my character and my integrity, I just wanted to clarify that for y'all. Getting back on track here with the main topic, this video, yes, the comments are disabled. When I posted that video after about 10, 11-ish minutes, I actually noticed myself, hey, the comments are off. What's going on? So I reached out to YouTube. I reached out to them and they reached out rather quickly. Thank you to YouTube, best social media platform out there. And they told me, and I can't believe I forgot about this, I guess I just wasn't thinking, that videos that have kids in them where you talk about them or show them a lot, in which we did in that video because we looked at John Morant's old Instagram, they turned the comments off. I don't have a choice. YouTube themselves turned the comments off. Whenever YouTube told me that, I was like, oh yeah, I can't believe I forgot about that. Thank you for the clarification. And me not thinking anything about it, I just continue on my day. No big deal whatsoever. I was like, the comments are off. People, they'll understand. They get it. And yeah, I guess that's on me for assuming that people would know what's going on. Because about 2 or 3 hours after that video was published, I got over 50 DMs on Instagram and Twitter. And I'm not even going to pop them up on the screen or show them because it's not even worth it. Just imagine people saying hateful stuff and going, oh, you got to be some low down type of man to criticize some other man and then turn off your comments so we can't criticize you. I'll just read you off this one because it was posted on the most recent video. You do a video criticizing someone you barely know and turn off the comments to avoid being criticized yourself. Lost all respect. To the person that commented that, I understand it because I see exactly where he's coming from. And I'm going to assume most people that saw that, you're thinking the same thing. Man, Matt, what are you doing? How are you going to criticize someone else and then turn off the comments. That's low down, and I agree. But the problem is, and I was so naive thinking this because I am a YouTuber, I know this information, I think 99% of you watching this didn't even know that was a thing. YouTube has a lot of safety guidelines in 2023, and there's a lot of videos where they turn off the comments themselves. You don't have a choice. So I replied to him, and you can see these comments. They're on the last video. LOL, YouTube turn off the comments, not me. Anytime you talk about and show pictures of a kid in a video, which I did because we looked at John Morant's old Instagram from when he was a kid, YouTube disables comments. Next time, do your research before you try to clown me, buddy. In my YouTube career, I have posted 1,300, and let me repeat that, 1,300 videos, and not on a single one have I ever disabled comments. And you want to know what's even crazier about this? If you've been following and keeping up with the channel, you know dang well I've had some crazier other videos in that previous one. That one's not even bad whatsoever. So why on a video like that would I choose to disable comments? Come on now, you gotta use your brain. And here's the last thing I'm gonna say about this, because this video's already been way too long. Just like this comment says, I was wondering what happened because you didn't even criticize him. That's what I'm talking about. I don't even understand what the uproar and rage is about talking about I turned off the comments, because in that video, it wasn't even me criticizing John Morant. But there's your answer, and also a main reason I made this video is I hope some of y'all learned something today as well. Some of you may believe this, some of you might not. It's cool, but I'm just going to tell you before we end off this video, the last thing I'm going to run from in this life, and the last thing I'm worried about, is people criticizing me on the internet. And trust me, you better believe this, if I am going to criticize John Morant, which I really didn't, but let's just say I did, I'm most definitely not going to turn the comments off myself, because I'm ready for it. If you're willing to dish it out, you got to be willing to receive it. That's all I got for y'all, man. Hope y'all enjoying March Madness. It sucks I had to address it, but sometimes you got to do what you got to do. Let me know your thoughts down below.